Hello everybody, and today I'm going to do something a little different. Today I'm going to be super buffing Theory of Everything, and now it's called the Extreme Theory. So let's get into super buffing. Now there's something really cool with this first part that I'd like to mention, and it's that you can do this with the robot game mode. So we can select the robot game mode, we can click OK, and we could just go ahead and play. And of course that click is near impossible because usually you would hold. So here's what I have planned. These clicks are going to be normal, but we are going to scooch this structure over right here, over a few steps, so that if we play, we should get past. As so. Sometimes you could skip that, but yeah. But here we are, we have the next section. Once you land on here, I was thinking that we could just completely delete the orb, delete this right here, then we can select all this, we can rotate this a bit, so it's like that, we can scooch this down, rotate it a little more, move it off to the side, and just like that, we can also copy and paste, then do the exact same thing, but instead it's that rotation, and just like that, we already have a timing. And I also don't like this orb, so we can also just delete this here. We could delete this spike, and why not let's shrink the platform down. And now this is looking much harder. You land on here, and in my opinion, it's kind of lame for you to do this giant jump and click these two orbs, which are free. So we are going to delete the pink orb, and we are going to select this structure. We are going to bring it down so that you have to jump and then click on that for the first robot. And a triple spike is too lame, so why not? We are going to add a spike, we are going to flip it, and then we are going to scooch it over some steps. And just like that, we have super buffed our first part, and let's see how it is. So here's why you always need to test stuff out. It's because you can find a bug, and it might not always work that way. But here's the finished project. And just like that, that's the first part done. Pretty cool, right? So, we've super buffed this previous part. Now we are going to super buff the ship. And oh boy, am I excited to super buff this part. So starting off, we are going to delete the ship portal, and we are going to replace it with a wave portal. Right here. So that instead of straight flying like usual, you're going to have to do a kind of spammy death corridor thing. Then when you get here, I am going to be kind, and I'm going to turn it back to ship. But we are also going to add a dual game mode, because dual game modes make everything fun. Because you can go down, and just like that, we go into here. Now here is a really cool concept that I'd like to implement here. And that is, instead of making this the right way, we're making this the right way. So just going to bring all this over here. Difficult stuff. You know what? Actually, no, I have a better idea. If I select this whole entire structure right here, and then we flip it like this, this should work once we put it in its place. There we go, just like that. What happened? There we go. We have successfully put it together. But these saws are in the way, so I'm gonna really quickly delete them. Goodbye. You no longer exist. Just actually gonna clear this whole entire part until further notice. And so just like that, we have this part done. I am going to now grab an exclamation point from this area right here. And now I'm going to place it once I find it. And would you look, wait, is it in this one? And just like that, I have successfully placed a trick. Instead of going up, you go down. So yeah, you could go down, then you go up. But here's what I think should be different. Instead of placing a mini portal, that's free, I am going to place a little, where is it? A little ball portal here. Then I'm going to place some timings. Spike here. Spike here. Then we could just clear this out. Then we could place the upside down spikes now. After just doing that, I'm going to place one here, flipped. Then we're going to move it down a bit. Place it again. Place it again. Well, actually, we are going to move this over on second thoughts. We are going to copy and paste it, move it over here. Once you reach the top, I'm going to place that here, and then just like that, we have this part done. Now I'm going to place a start position because I don't want to go through the beginning. Here would be good. Going to grab the start position. Here we go. And that is actually tricky, so we are going to edit it just a bit. We are going to move these over by 2 steps, actually 4. Then move this one over, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they should be easier clicks. Let me play that again one more time. This is actually very tricky. That's actually good. Something I should actually do is add a bunch, as in 1, invisible slope. Make it invisible so that you don't see it. We're gonna hide it. And we're gonna put it right here so that you could easily slide down instead of just free falling. Here we are. Now just gotta do the finishing adjustments. Just like that, if I deselect it, it's gonna disappear. There we go. Here's why you always need a playtest, so that you can find all these little things that need to be adjusted. And then there we go. That's that. So I'll show you what we're going to do for the cube mode. This part right here, I think it's a bit boring, so I am going to delete all of it. Actually, no, I'm going to leave the ground. But I am going to delete all of the gameplay, so just going to delete that. Goodbye. Gonna delete this. Goodbye. Gonna delete this, this, and this. Goodbye. Then we're gonna get the little blocks. There we go. And instead of it being a cube, I think I want to make it a ship. So we're going to go ahead and place the portal right here. And it should be good. Here I'm going to place a bunch of random blocks that we can edit later. So I'm going to start with this right here. We are going to delete these so that we could replace the blocks. Here we go, it's starting. We could place one right here, place them right here. Then we're going to go down, going down again, going down again. Then finally we reach a cube portal right here. Then as I start adding the little minor details, I'll show you that in a second. But you could start really appreciating what we have right here. So yeah, give me a second to build this, and I'll be back with you. And now, may I present to you the finished product of what I created here. Wrong start position, give me a second. Gonna place one right here. But here is the finished product. Right here. Then we're gonna make it big cube. Here we are. Big cube right here. So we're gonna do this mini straight fly right here. Then, after that, we're gonna do some triple spikes. We're gonna click on that. Then here. Here is the next part I wanna try out. Because this right here is a normal route, and it looks a little bit like Death Corridor, not going to lie. So, instead of having these normal, boring clicks, I'm going to move the spike over one block, and I'm going to place some incredibly hard clicks, which means adding 2 medium spikes down. And the process of super buffing is actually really fun. So if you want to try this for yourself, go ahead. It's pretty fun. All you gotta do is just like place some buffs, play test it as you go, make sure it's not impossible. And so let's test it out. Wrong placement of start position, gonna move it over half a step. Now it should be good. And these are some very hard clicks. But we still have to super buff the rest of this part. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Gonna grab this block, scooch it over half a step. Gonna grab these, gonna place it down here, flip it, scooch it over half a step, place another, bring it up, scooch it over. This jump we can also super buff by just deleting that spike. There we go. And doing the exact same thing. And then there we go. We have completed our Death Corridor cameo.